Thank you, Lauren. Hey, everybody. So it's technically still spring for 2 more weeks, but as you can feel and see, it's summertime here in the South already. And one of the most prolific vegetables that we'll see all summer long is the summer squash. It starts in May and goes through September. A lot of people start to get really tired of it around August. So it's a really good idea to have a lot of different approaches to working with squash. Um, I actually did an article with Savor magazine last year, and we we did a lot of exploration of squash in different ways, and came up with some really unique approaches, including making a cobbler out of zucchini in the same way that you would use apples. You could literally follow an apple cobbler recipe and use zucchini instead. If you get bored of the savory recipes, that's one option. Um, so, summer squash, very, very prolific. It really grows extremely well in the South. Um, there's a line from my book, Root to Leaf, which is about cooking with fresh produce. It says, if you don't check your squash daily, you might end up with a doorstop or a baseball bat. It grows very fast, especially if we have some rain. So if you grow your own squash, you know it can be sometimes burdensome, but it's a wonderful, light, refreshing summer vegetable. It's actually technically a fruit. And one of my favorite ways to cook squash is to grill it. And like Lauren said, when it's hot outside, you want to just fire up your grill, throw some stuff on there, and come back in the air conditioning and enjoy it. Or sit outside by the pool if you happen to have one. So squash comes in many different shapes and sizes and varieties. One of the most common in the South is the yellow crookneck squash. Our grandmothers all grew it and cook it if you're from the South. This is a really nice squash, the Zephyr squash. It has the light green section at the bottom and then the yellow section at the top. Really nice and sweet. These are called patty pan squash. They have that sort of kind of flying saucer shape. A lot of different patty pan. And then this is a zucchini, and we're all more familiar with the zucchini that's more like this shape. This is a cue ball or 8-ball squash, and it grow in round spheres and just have a little bit firmer, more solid texture. These are really great for grilling as well. And then the recipe involves chili oil, which I really love in the summertime, to add just a little bit of heat to your vegetables. So I'm not going to just show you how to make it because it's very simple to make, but it takes some time to sit and get the flavors going. Greenola, which is right over here behind us, has some really cool peppers that they've been growing. These are probably from last summer or early this summer, and she takes the peppers that they don't sell at the market and dehydrates them and smokes them. So they have a really awesome flavor. And we buy these from time to time to add flavor to a braise or to scatter over vegetables. And so I use some of these to make the chili oil. And then I also use crushed red pepper or red chili flakes as well. And those have a little bit more heat. To combine them together is really nice. Or you could simply just use these local ones and just have a really unique flavor. The ratio for this is 8-to-1, 8 parts oil and 1 part chili flake. So I have a recipe on your sheet. If you didn't see it, it's 2 cups of neutral oil and a 1/4 cup of chili flakes. You can make a smaller batch. You could do 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of chilies, or you can make a large batch and just hold on to it. I just store it in the refrigerator covered, and it's great to drizzle over pizza or pasta. It's great to grill vegetables with. If you like a little bit of heat like I do, you can definitely increase the chili amount if you want it to be spicier, or you could decrease it if you want it more neutral. Yeah, so the best way to do this is you don't want to fire it up. You're going to keep it on low heat, and as soon as you see the chili start to sizzle a little bit, turn it off. Or if you want to just be really exacting, you can use a thermometer. When you hit 180 degrees, turn it off. Let the chili sit in there for about a day or so, and then you're going to strain the solids out and once it's sat overnight, it's about extracted all the flavor it can get. And then you strain the solids out, which are going to be a little more spicy and also kind of get stuck in your teeth. All that flavor's been extracted, and then you have this great oil. I'll show you the color too. This is what it looks like. So this is the canola oil when you start, and this is what it looks like when you finish. So you can tell that all that chili color is extracted and the flavor is in there too. It's really just a really great condiment. So that's super easy to make. You can make a big batch and put it in the refrigerator and store it as long as you like. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cutting squash and just how to approach it. I know that might seem like a simple idea, but you have to really think about the grill and the grates on the grill. If you cut it too small, it's just going to slide right through, and then you're going to lose all your hard work. So for these that are pretty thin, I'm going to show you a little trick that helps for grilling. I just trim off the ends here. I'll try to move some things out of the way so you can see. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'll just take the knife and just cut it lengthwise. So you have a nice flat surface to lay down on the grill, and you can quarter turn it, and then just turn it over and finish it on the other side. The same with the crook neck squash, except for you've got a taper at the top. So if you cut it in half, the thinner piece, cut that in half lengthwise for grilling. And then this thicker piece, because you want everything to cook evenly, I'm probably going to cut this into 3 pieces lengthwise. So you want to keep them relatively thick, about a ½ inch or so. You see I have 3 pieces that are going to fit on the grill. They're not going to fall through the grates. With the round squash, zucchini, or anything that's a little thicker, just cut it into discs. So you're going to cut that top part off here, and then just cut it into pieces like this. For grilling, this is great, but then later after you grill it, you're going to cut it into more bite-sized pieces. So you want to just keep it thick and chunky to get on the grill, and you have a lot more control. And then once it's cooled down, then you cut it into the bite-sized pieces, whatever size or shape you like, and you can go from there. And these little guys here, I'm just going to cut off the ends again. And cut into pieces like this. So, and this round part kind of keeps it from falling through the grill. And then I also took some onion and cut them into discs as well and threw that on the grill, and just want to get like a nice char like this color. Okay? Everything that we tossed on the grill, salt, pepper, and chili oil. Other components of this recipe, we have some toasted almonds, and there are actually almonds available here at the market. Toast these up for about 10 minutes, 300-degree oven, just until they're nice and lightly brown, and you can crush them with the bottom of a heavy pan, or chop them with a knife, or throw them in your food processor, whatever you want to do. And we're also using some decimal place goat's milk feta. So I'll show you how to get these going on the grill. It's still hot. I'm just going to grab a bowl here. I'm going to season it up first on my cutting board. So I've got kosher salt, which is definitely my preferred for grilling and for just general use. It's nice, kind of thicker grain salt, so you can really see where it's landing. You get a good sense of how much you're using. Then I'm just going to toss these together with the chili oil and a little black pepper. Oh, and I discovered something this week that I'm really excited about. And you might not already know, but the Big Green Egg Company makes these little charcoal starters, and it's just a piece of like compressed wood, and it's just like this thing right here, and you just light it underneath at the bottom of your grill, and then put the charcoal on top, and it's like the easiest thing I've ever used. I will never not use them. I just am blown away about how easy it was. So I'm a big fan of, I know a lot of people like a gas grill because it's easy to use, but charcoal or wood is going to impart a lot more flavor onto your food. And when you're working with vegetables and you use wood or charcoal, it adds so much more than a gas grill will. And there's nothing wrong with gas, but for flavor component, speaking to you as a chef, this is the way to go for your vegetables. It's like you could eat vegetables all summer long cooked over wood or charcoal and never miss any piece of meat, because it just has so much, adds so much to it, a lot of umami, a lot of flavor, and it's just really great. So I'm gonna get a little black pepper on here as well. We'll get these going on the grill. This is still nice and hot. Summer squash does not take long to grill. It's got a high water content, so as soon as it gets hot, it starts steaming from the inside. So you really just want to get some nice color. And by the time you have that, it's probably ready to come off. You want to watch these roll? This is Raul. He's one of the cooks at Miller Union. Say hello to Raul, everybody. So on your uncovered, so you can see what you're doing. And if the grill's really hot, you put the cover on it. You're gonna overcook the squash. Because it doesn't take long to cook, it's better just to keep an eye on it. You know, if you were doing like a big piece of meat or something, you might want to put the cover on there just to let that heat, you know, kind of surround it and really help cook it. But these coals are pretty hot, and we're just going to keep a close eye on them. And I'm collecting all the vegetable scraps for compost, which we do at the restaurant. We don't waste any vegetable scraps for the landfill. They go straight to compost. So we're going to throw this together, and I have some almonds already toasted. So I decided at the last minute, I got inspired. I know that onions aren't in the recipe. I know that tomatoes aren't in the recipe, but they were here today at the market, and I just got inspired and threw them in. You can do this with a vegetable recipe. If there's something that you really like and you want to add to it and it's not there, you know, if it's something that you like and you want to combine them together, that's your call. Recipe, especially when it comes to vegetables, doesn't have to be by the book. You can really take some liberties. So it's all about what's in season and really responding to what you see. When I come to the market and go shopping for my personal home use, I just walk around and see what's available and then grab what looks good and figure it out when I get home. And that's the real beauty of working with fresh produce, is that you can really take a lot of liberties and you can just combine things that you feel like will work well together. And I talk a lot about that in my book, Root to Leaf, which immediately after this we'll have an opportunity to take a look over here, and I'll be signing books if you want to purchase a copy. So I've got the grilled onion here. I'm going to just cut this into more bite-sized pieces. And I have a tomato, first of the season, that I've noticed, which I'm super excited about. This is a tomato blade that is made by Wusthof. I really like it a lot because it's got the nice serrated edge that never seems to dull. Kind of like those Ginsu commercials. Remember those? So I'm just cutting these into quarters. I'm going to cut the tip of the core out here. And just cut this into bite-sized pieces as well. I like the tomato in this recipe because it adds a little bit of acidity, which I think is really nice with just about any food. If you have a little bit of salt, a little bit of acid, a little fat, it's going to taste very balanced. Plus, I mean, a juicy, ripe tomato, I feel like for summer you can pretty much throw it into anything. And then I'm going to take one of these squash off of here. Some of these. And just cut these also into bite-sized pieces. They're like just perfectly cooked. They're hot, but they're still a little slightly firm in the middle, which I like that. I don't like it when the squash gets too squishy. This is a great recipe to serve room temperature too. So, if you're going to somebody's house for a party and you want to bring something unique, you could just make this ahead of time and bring it. Or if you're making dinner and you want to get it started early and get it out of the way, just literally just leave it out on the counter till you're ready to eat. It's going to be even better as the flavors start to marry. And I really love the flavor of grilled onion. It gets so sweet. So from there, I'm just going to add a little bit more salt and a little more chili oil. And that's really to compensate for the tomato, because everything else has been seasoned before it went on the grill, minus the tomato. And then to that, I'm going to add some toasted almonds. And then I have a little bit of the goat's milk feta from Decimal Place Farms. And then to finish, some fresh parsley and some fresh mint. It's very Mediterranean-inspired flavors, but all locally sourced. I would imagine the almonds are not from Georgia, but they're here at the market, and they're a good producer. So you could do this with other things. If you don't like summer squash, you could do grilled eggplant. It's exact same style. You could do it with what are some other summer ingredients? Summer vegetables. You could do it with peppers and eggplant and squash. You could do like a ratatouille style mixed vegetable grill. So really just super versatile. If you don't like almonds, you can leave them out. If you'd rather do fresh goat cheese and basil, that works too. It's really just about what you like and what inspires you. And we've got some samples coming around shortly. I purposely chose a kind of quick and easy recipe so you can get inspired to try this at home. It's super easy, super fast, a lot of impact, a lot of big flavor, and just really one of my favorite ways to serve squash. In fact, we just put this on the menu yesterday with our griddled chicken. So if you don't feel like making it yourself, just come to the restaurant and for dinner, and we'll serve it up to you as a vegetable side. It's all on our vegetable plate, and it's also underneath our delicious chicken from White Oak Pastures. So, any questions, folks? We have samples coming around shortly. Yes. The question is, if you mix too many vegetables together, do you lose something in flavor? I think it's really more about being smart about how you pair things. I wouldn't put blueberries in this. I wouldn't. Just like if it goes together flavor-wise, it's really up to you. This would be great with cherry tomatoes. It would be great with, there's a little bit of garlic in here too, or you can leave that out. It really just depends on, that's more of a matter of personal taste. But I don't think there's like a rule where you lose, you hit a certain number and you lose something. Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's just a matter of personal taste. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes. A lot of what? Fennel. Question is fennel. I'm a huge fennel fan. Different ways to prepare it. Well, first of all, there's a fennel chapter in my book. So just so you know that. I love fennel. It's a really great vegetable. It's got really nice mellow sweetness to it, and it has that little bit of licorice flavor to it, anise flavor. I think summer squash and fennel is wonderful together. I actually do a summer squash and fennel raw salad where I shave the squash on a mandolin and shave the fennel on a mandolin, cut it into thin strips like a slaw, and then dress it with a lemon vinaigrette. And it's really wonderful. And it's nice with some tarragon or mint. Miller Union is on the west side of Midtown. So the question is, where are we? 10th Street, where dead ends on the west side, just past Howell Mill at Brady Avenue. That's where we're located. Yeah. If you're not sure, you just literally drive on 10th Street until you hit a dead end, and we're on the right side. Yeah. Opposite side of Piedmont Park. Yeah. Question, ma'am, with the blue? Or no, you want a sample? Anybody else have any questions? Excellent. Thank you.